The sun holds court high behind the clouds, flowers turning their blooming heads towards their hidden lord. The day is shaded but warm. The birds sing together in one holy chorus, trees sway gently in a soft wind, and the baker is dead behind his bakery. Children race their bikes down and up asphalt as they hurry to school, loose pebbles spewing in the wake of their tires. Dogs bark behind fences and gates, old folks swing in chairs on front porches, young couples walk hand in hand down narrow streets in the small town. The diner is open, all 3 schools are open, and the bakery is closed because the baker is dead. At the junior high, the baker's daughter is turning in her homework. She doesn't know that she is now fatherless. Her father typically keeps a baker's hours and is gone before dawn. She had not seen the man since the evening before when he shut off her light and said goodnight. The fatherless girl turns in her math homework and pulls out her notebook to study for the test she has in history the following period. She determines that she will just copy the math notes from Kat, a girl that sits 3 rows back. Kat usually doesn't mind if someone copies her notes as long as she is given a bag of spicy chips. So the fatherless girl flips open her notebook, pulls out a pencil, and pretends to scribble down notes while she reviews facts about the Ottoman Empire. The world continues to slowly warm up, and the baker lay pressed against a wall, obscured by a dumpster. The baker's wife stands outside of her home, speaking politely with a neighbor over the fence for a few seconds before climbing into her car. She works across town. She's putting in extra hours for the next 2 weeks as she and her husband are saving for a getaway for their anniversary, still a month away. They would leave their nearly teenage daughter to stay with a friend and enjoy their time as a couple, alone for the first time in over a decade. They would go somewhere bright and warm and beautiful and rekindle the fire of their youth. And the baker grows cold beneath the dumpster. And his widow drives away from their shared home. In a house just south of the bakery, a girl is frantically packing. 2 duffel bags sit open on a messy bed. In one, folded neatly, are all sorts of clothes: pants, shorts, blouses, tanks, underwear, socks, PJs, each folded and rolled tightly, shoved together closely to get as many things in as possible. The other has toiletries, toothbrush and paste, soap, a towel, and other relevant things, 2 books, a blanket, a deck of cards, a very old stuffed animal. The closet and dresser in the small room are both half empty. The girl moves quick, hands shaking, tears blurring her vision, gut-wrenching sobs yanking her body right and left. She stuffs her purse with its wallet and other non-essentials into the second bag, zips it up, and slings it over one shoulder, taking the first bag in hand. She takes a few moments to get herself in control, chokes off her sobs, and wipes at her eyes. Finally, she strides from the room to the garage and into her waiting car. And the baker is dead. The baker's morning employee wakes up slowly. He reaches over and gazes blearily at his alarm clock. He jumps out of bed and tumbles to the floor in a tangle of sheets. He is late. He should have been at the bakery at dawn with the baker. He should have been there to unlock the shop, sift the flour, knead the dough, proof the bread. He's sure this is the last straw. The baker would fire him without pause. This, of course, is not true. But the boy does not know this, so he rushes to dress, skipping a shower, and instead runs water over his face and through his hair. He escapes through his front door, taking his bicycle instead of the car. There will be little parking available downtown at this time. And the baker lies behind his bakery. And a figure stands at the end of the alley. And that figure is soon joined by another. And another. And the girl in the car with the 2 duffel bags goes back into the house. She stuffs a plastic bag with as much non-perishable food as she can fit. Then she grabs the fruit bowl by the fridge. She returns to the car and checks her phone. No message. This could mean anything. She tosses the phone beside her and pulls the car out of the garage. And the figures move into the alley and stand over the baker. And the baker's widow pulls into the assigned space at her job. She dallies in her car for a few minutes. She fiddles with her purse and fiddles with her makeup. She opens the door and steps out, adjusting the straps on her heels before standing and walking toward her building. And 3 figures stand over her husband in a warm alley, looking down into his open eyes. And the baker's fatherless child tries to commit to memory again the first 3 sultans of the empire, but she can't quite block out the teacher talking about the Pythagorean theorem, where ax plus by equals c, to remember that Osama I came before Oran, who was followed by Murad I? She rolls her eyes and presses on through the background noise of math to the memorization of names of men long dead. And the figures push the trash away from her father and bend low over him. And his daughter goes on memorizing facts about forgotten men and loses an inconsequential memory of her father in the process. And there are no more kids on their bikes in the streets, but the birds still sing, though their chorus is now out of sync as they flit from branch to branch in the many streets of the small town. The breeze has stopped. The sun still hides its face, the clouds a bright shroud over its visage, and the employee stands in front of the closed bakery, calling his boss's phone. It rings behind the building, buried under debris, and the baker no longer lay behind his bakery.
"Hey, it's me,"
says the boy into his phone.
"I guess we're both running a little late today. Glad it's not just me. I have to go back to my place to get the key, but I'll open up shop. Don't feel bad about sleeping in. You should take a break. I'll hold down the fort until you get here."
He hangs up the phone, and for good measure sends a text. He hops back on his bike and heads towards his home at a slower pace than he arrived. It wasn't often someone could enjoy such a temperate spring day.